Have you ever wondered why some people seem to have a nearly magical capacity to make their dreams come true, while others find it difficult to overcome doubt and negativity? What if I told you that the exact ideas you are having at this present moment have the power to profoundly influence your reality? We're delving deep into the motivating realm of mind over matter today. We will reveal the astounding powers that science has demonstrated for our thoughts and investigate how they affect not just our physical well-being, but also the environment we live in. Therefore, if you're prepared to master the mind's amazing power, if you want to unlock your own potential, and if you're excited to learn useful manifestation techniques, you're in for a mind-bending treat if you let your dreams and ambitions guide you. Stay tuned for a ton of incredible insights in this video, exciting experiments along with practical ways to help you take charge of your own destiny. Before we go, please take a moment to hit the subscribe button. Together, let's go on this amazing journey. Give this film a thumbs up, tell your friends about it, and most of all, make a commitment to watch it every second, because the details are what make the magic happen. Together, we may explore this adventure and discover the remarkable principle of music. 2 times as many people listen as speak. When Epictetus observed that humans had 2 ears and 1 mouth, meaning we can listen twice as much as we speak, he had a profound understanding into this. This knowledge is a great lesson about how we should interact with the outside world and other people that transcends the mere functionality of our ears. Consider this: it seems as though we are cutting ourselves off from the knowledge and experiences of those around us when we are always speaking and voicing our own ideas and opinions. We lose sight of the rich tapestry of understanding that other people can provide because we become so wrapped up in our own voice. Consider this: do you actually listen during a discussion, or are you only waiting for your chance to speak? Frequently, we miss out on the insightful viewpoints and information that others are providing because we are so preoccupied with what we want to say next. The Stoics, including Epictetus, Seneca, and Marcus Aurelius, stress the need of humility and self-awareness. They contend that we can access a world of knowledge and opportunities for personal development if we listen more often than we speak. It's a means of admitting that there's always more to learn and that we don't have all the answers. Second principle: be ready for anything. As everyone knows, there are surprises in life, and not all of them are good. Though there are moments when it seems like everything is going well, and then a storm hits. What does it mean to be ready for anything? It's about developing a resilient and prepared mindset, not about living in a constant state of worry or anxiety and expecting disaster at every turn. Think of this life as a journey where we will encounter unexpected detours, difficulties, and barriers. These can occur suddenly, like a health catastrophe, or frequently, like a job loss. The Epictetus exhorts us to accept the possibility that these possible adversities may occur rather than to be afraid of them. Marcus Aurelius and Seneca realized that planning for the worst-case situation or worrying about the future just causes needless stress in our life. Rather, they suggested that we develop a certain level of strength and resilience by psychologically preparing for hardship. Imagine it as a soldier facing off in combat. Rather of hoping for failure, they get ready for it. They prepare themselves by planning ahead, exercising, and acquiring the knowledge and attitude needed to meet any obstacles. Aristotle tells us that the ability to consider a concept without coming to a conclusion about it is a sign of a well-educated mind. This implies that we may accept the likelihood of adversity without allowing it to overcome us. Epictetus encourages us to develop inner strength and resilience when he tells us to be ready for the worst, because it's about keeping a sense of equilibrium in the midst of uncertainty. Instead of allowing negativity to enter our lives, we should strengthen our mental and emotional armor so that, as we go through this investigation of Stoic principles, we can face life's curveballs with bravery and grace. Recall that by being ready for anything, we are embracing the power of preparation rather than living in fear. Together, we'll discover how adopting this perspective might result in a life that is more resilient and balanced. 3. Be ready to fail. In the realm of Stoicism, that's the way to advance. Failure is a vital teacher on the road to enlightenment and self-improvement, not something to be feared or avoided. When we attempt anything new or go into unknown terrain, consider it for a minute. Errors in territory are inevitable. It's part of being human. The secret is to surround yourself only with positive individuals who inspire you and whose presence brings out the best in you, as Marcus Aurelius sagely observed. We can make great progress by surrounding ourselves with others who encourage and support our development. Epictetus implores us to change the way we view failure, to stop viewing it as a setback or a cause for embarrassment. Consider it a first step towards your own growth. By learning from our failures, we may improve ourselves, much like a sculptor shapes and carves a masterpiece out of a block of stone. Aristotle tells us that our actions over time shape who we are. Then, excellence becomes a habit rather than an act. This implies that we might develop the habit of resilience by realizing that failure is an inevitable part of our journey. Every obstacle turns into a chance to get smarter and stronger. We are able to better understand our strengths and shortcomings as a result of these self-reflection moments, which ultimately leads to the personal growth concept. Recognize the perils of luck. Epictetus challenges us to think about the effects that fortune and wealth can have on our lives and, more crucially, on our moral principles. I think it's an interesting idea. We frequently hear tales of people who appear to undergo significant transformation after achieving enormous money or fortune. According to Seneca, the key to true happiness is to live in the moment without worrying about the future. Should be content with what we have, which is enough for those who have nothing at all, rather than to entertain ourselves with either hopes or concerns. The underlying premise here is that people might lose touch with the principles and values that formerly drove them when they encounter adversity or amass enormous wealth. Abruptly, the quest for authority may eclipse the quest for morality and honesty. Justice, as Plato eloquently stated, is taking care of your own affairs and refraining from interfering with other people's problems. The wisdom of Epictetus tells us that no matter how wealthy we are, we should always keep a high moral standard. The risk of fortune is the possibility of losing focus on the things that really count: our morality, relationships, and character. According to Aristotle, the best virtues are those that benefit other people the most. Principle 5. Don't become obsessed with one hope. Imagine that your thoughts and aspirations are dominated by a single dream, a single hope. It could have to do with a successful profession, a certain relationship, or an accomplishment, but having goals is crucial. As Seneca rightly pointed out, the Stoics advise against basing all of your happiness on a single objective. Start living right now and consider every day to be a new existence. This idea is based on the idea that circumstances can change suddenly and that life is intrinsically unpredictable. Epictetus counsels us to have many goals and desires and to widen our horizons. We build a stronger emotional foundation by doing this. It is comparable to investing in diversification. In addition to helping you avoid the possible despair that might come from having one goal unfulfilled, spreading your hope throughout life is consistent with Aristotle's idea of eudaimonia, or flourishing. Aristotle thought that a meaningful existence included a range of activities, including moral excellence, intellectual development, and satisfying relationships. One hope alone could cause an imbalance in these important areas of life. Never forget that death is an unavoidable part of life. It's simple to get sucked into the daily grind, obsessing over unimportant things and forgetting what really counts. While material goods, ephemeral joys, and short-term objectives can consume us, Stoics encourage us to take a step back and consider the sobering truth of our mortality. You behave like mortals in everything you fear, and like immortals in everything you want, as Seneca put it. This assertion emphasizes the contradiction of human nature. Although we frequently behave as though we have endless time, we fear death. We put off following our passions, repairing damaged bonds with others, or leading genuine lives because we believe there will always be tomorrow. Accepting that death is an inescapable aspect of existence allows it to act as a catalyst for transformation. It forces us to focus on the things that really count, like fostering our relationships and pursuing true happiness. Marcus Aurelius advises us to stop wasting time debating the qualities of a decent man. We can focus deeply on ourselves and make sense of our interests and ideals when we consider our death. We begin to live by our values, emphasizing kindness, personal development, and other people's mental health. This idea is related to the notion of a memento. Throughout history, people have employed the Japanese concept of mori, which means remembering that you will die, as a potent motivator and mindfulness exercise. Seventh, contentment is the real wealth. Spirit. In order to fully comprehend this idea, we must first acknowledge that the Stoics did not downplay the importance of material prosperity or comfort. Rather, they stressed the fact that these things are secondary to our inner peace and well-being. He is a clever man, according to Epictetus, who rejoices for the things he has rather than laments the ones he does not have. This viewpoint is consistent with the general principles of Western philosophy. For example, according to Aristotle, eudaimonia, often translated as thriving or well-being, is the ultimate objective of human life. According to Aristotle, real happiness results from pursuing our inner potential and leading a moral life. Plato also states the first and greatest zizix, emphasizing the value of moral excellence and inner peace. The key to victory is self-conquering. In our consumer-driven society, these lessons from antiquated philosophers align with the Stoic principle that true wealth may only be found within, as a contented soul. It's simple to fall into the trap of always wanting more and believing that material belongings will make us happy for the long run. But as Seneca sagely observed, a man is only as happy as he believes he is. This demonstrates how our perspective and mentality shape our sense of riches and well-being. Accepting the notion that true wealth is found in a contented spirit enables us to experience happiness in the here and now, independent of outside events. It inspires us to cultivate thankfulness and recognize all of life's benefits, no matter how minor or large. According to Seneca, wealth is defined as having few wants rather than many valuable belongings. This idea is related to the psychological theory of hedonic adaptation, which postulates that humans have a propensity to revert to our original state of happiness. After going through both good and bad life experiences, we can fight this tendency and discover enduring fulfillment in the idea of the small pleasures in life by practicing contentment. To fully understand the relevance of this principle, embrace humility as a vital aspect of your life. It's critical to comprehend what humility means. Being humble is realizing that no one knows everything and that there is always more to learn. It is not about diminishing your value or self-deprecating. I know that I am intelligent because I know that I know nothing, as Socrates renownedly said. The philosophy of Stoicism echoes this recognition of our limits. Epictetus highlighted the significance of keeping an open mind and remaining modest. He held that the first step toward true wisdom is admitting our ignorance and asserted that a man cannot learn what he already believes to be true. Aristotle observed that moral and intellectual development are facilitated by the virtue of humility. He maintained that humility promotes personal growth by allowing us to grow from the mistakes we make and learn from others. Plato also emphasized the need of humility, stating that courage is the ability to know what not to fear. This implies that being aware of our weaknesses is a sign of strength. In the information-driven, fast-paced world of today, it is more important than ever to embrace people. Since information is constantly growing, it is impossible for someone to be an expert in every area. Humility is the recognition of our constant need for learning and adaptation. 9. See guilt as a scourge that stems from the idea that we have violated our moral principles or committed an act of wrongdoing. It can be a strong, debilitating feeling that frequently results in feelings of worthlessness and self-blame. Marcus Aurelius offers insightful advice in this regard, all that is needed to create a happy. Everything in life is contained within you. From your perspective, Stoic philosophy urges us to view shame as a misfortune when it gets in the way of our well-being and personal development. Stoicism encourages us to assess our actions objectively, learn from our mistakes, and accept responsibility for our decisions rather than focusing on guilt. Seneca emphasizes this argument by saying that the person who never experiences hardship is the happiest person alive, since they are never given the chance to show themselves. Aristotle thought that when guilt made us examine our behavior and make reparations, it may work as a moral compass. He underlined the value of morality and the necessity of living in harmony with ourselves. In addition, Plato added to the conversation about guilt by emphasizing the value of self-awareness and self-examination, two concepts that are consistent with Stoic reflection. The most important thing to remember when dealing with guilt is to use it as a motivator for positive change and personal development, rather than letting it control us. In contemporary psychology, guilt can be a useful teacher, challenging us to reevaluate our worth and actions. These philosophical realizations are consistent with the idea of guilt. It is commonly known that moral growth and better relationships can result from healthy guilt. On the other hand, excessive or misplaced guilt can be harmful to our mental and emotional health. This emphasizes how crucial it is to manage guilt sensibly, in line with the Stoic main advice idea: establish relationships with prosperous people. Philosophers who practice Stoicism acknowledge the importance of the company we keep and the profound influence our affiliations have on our thoughts and actions. Seneca, in particular, underlined how crucial it is to make intelligent friendship choices. There are always advantages to friendship. Aristotle also explored the nature of affiliations and friendships and how love may sometimes cause harm. He thought that the foundation of a happy life was moral connections based on mutual support and similar principles. Aristotle's observations supported the Stoic notion that having good company might enhance our moral fiber and general well-being. Socrates thought that dialogues had the ability to promote knowledge and understanding. The Socrates method emphasizes the need of interacting with others, particularly those who have accomplished achievement or have important knowledge. Our connections can affect our behavior, mental health, and even success, according to research. Social networks that are encouraging and helpful can inspire us, offer direction, and assist us in achieving our objectives. The idea of connecting with successful people inspires us to look for friends, mentors, and role models who can motivate us to fulfill our potential. It emphasizes the idea that we may significantly affect our own personal and professional growth by surrounding oneself with positive influences. We can better handle life's problems and increase our own chances of success and fulfillment by taking advice from others who have succeeded and by keeping up positive, healthy relationships. Principle 11. Your fate is determined by your deeds. Stoic philosophers hold that although we have no influence over outside forces, we do have control over how we respond to them. Marcus Aurelius is credited with saying that our thoughts shape who we are and how we live. This claim emphasizes the Stoic theory, which holds that our experiences are greatly influenced by the ways in which we see and interpret the world. Aristotle also examined the idea of attitudes and character, contending that virtues like bravery and resiliency were necessary for a fulfilling life. The Stoic idea that developing an optimistic and resilient mindset is essential to overcoming life's obstacles is echoed by Aristotle's observation. Plato stressed in his philosophical teachings the value of self-awareness and self-control. He thought that people should aim for internal peace and make sure that their passions and reason are in harmony. This is consistent with the current psychological theory that our acts, motivated by our innate tendencies, can greatly influence our fate. It's common knowledge that success and well-being are influenced by one's thinking. The concept of a growth mindset, which stresses the idea that one's ability and intelligence can be enhanced through effort and study, was first presented by psychotherapist Carol D. This idea is consistent with the idea that our actions, motivated by our beliefs, have a significant influence on our fate. Principle 12, always carry out your obligation. In his meditations, Marcus Aurelius stated that a man truly finds joy in fulfilling his innate abilities. The idea that every person has a distinct role and obligations that contribute to the greater good is emphasized by this phrase. Seneca highlights the benefits of being honest and doing one's duty. He argued that we do not dare because something is difficult, but rather because we do not dare because it is difficult. Seneca's remarks emphasize the value of accepting obstacles and carrying out obligations, even when they appear difficult from a Western philosophical perspective. Responsibilities and virtue ethics, as defined by Aristotle, are closely associated concepts. Aristotle thought that moral character qualities should be developed and adhered to by people. He maintained that living a decent life required possessing moral qualities like bravery, fairness, and honesty. This is consistent with the idea that being a responsible person is an example of virtue. In the Republic, Plato addressed the concepts of justice and the place of the individual in society. In his ideal city-state, he suggested that everyone had a certain job to play and that, in order to maintain harmony among all, each person should perform that position. This thought is a reflection of the belief that communal well-being is enhanced by accepting and carrying out one's obligations. Studies have indicated that those who believe their acts have purpose and benefit society as a whole are more likely to be happy and to be in better mental health. Principle 13, refrain from harboring animosity against those who oppose you. Stoic thinkers placed a strong emphasis on the value of inner peace and the notion that we have power over how we respond to situations. As Marcus Aurelius once said, "The best form of retaliation is to be unlike the person who caused the injury." According to this theory, overcoming animosity is the best way to deal with it. Holding fast to our own moral principles and inner serenity, Seneca said, "He who is brave is free." This insight emphasizes the notion that our capacity to overcome unpleasant feelings like hatred or rage in the face of aggression is intimately related to our emotional freedom. Epictetus believed that humans have the ability to select our emotional reactions because of his emphasis on personal agency. He underlined that unless we let them, outside circumstances, such as antagonism or criticism, should not be able to disrupt our inner serenity. The Western philosophical idea of avoiding hatred is consistent with Stoic doctrine, which teaches us to regulate our emotions. The virtue ethics of Aristotle provides direction on how to handle animosity. Aristotle thought that virtues like temperance and patience should be developed. Instead of giving in to resentment or rage in the face of criticism or hostility, these characteristics might assist us in responding with calm, collected feelings. Avoiding hatred is a notion that is also supported by contemporary psychology. Psychological research has demonstrated that harboring hatred and resentment can be harmful to our mental and emotional health. Releasing these negative feelings is linked to better mental and general life happiness. Rule 14, adopt a contemplative and uncomplicated lifestyle. See within, as Marcus Aurelius once said. True wisdom and fulfillment come from introspection and self-awareness. This Stoic concept emphasizes the idea that inside is the fountain of good, and it will ever bubble up if thou wilt ever dig. Seneca, who is well known for his essays on simplicity and the benefits of living a simple life, noted that we do not dare things because they are difficult, but rather because we do not dare that they are difficult. This realization serves as a reminder that accepting simplicity involves tackling obstacles head-on with clarity and determination rather than avoiding them. Epictetus emphasized the importance of inner freedom and choice, and he taught that our ability to simplify our needs and desires is directly related to our well-being. He guided people toward a simpler and happier life by encouraging them to discern between what is necessary and what is unnecessary. The cave allegory from Plato's Republic is a metaphor for introspection. It inspires us to look within for higher truths and liberate ourselves from the illusions of the outside world. We can get away from the diversion of fleeting desires and go deeper into self-discovery by embracing simplicity. The notion that simplicity and introspection might result in a more balanced and genuine life is also supported by modern psychology. Positive psychology research indicates that those who engage in self-reflection and mindfulness practices report feeling happier and more content with their lives overall. Renowned for his essays on adversity, Seneca claimed that hardships fortify the mind in the same way that physical labor does. This realization serves as a helpful reminder that obstacles should be welcomed as chances for growth rather than ignored. We may develop into stronger, more resilient people by learning from difficult situations. Epictetus argued that we have control over how we perceive the world because of his emphasis on the strength of free will and inner autonomy. He urged people to embrace hardship as an opportunity to put their virtue and character into practice by looking for ways to make the best out of their circumstances. In this way, we can align ourselves with the Stoic ideal of living a moral life independent of outside circumstances as found in Western philosophy. Seeking the best outcome from conditions is related to Aristotle's idea of the golden mean. According to Aristotle, amid difficult circumstances, pursuing the middle ground between extremes results in a balanced and moral existence. By steering clear of both extreme optimism and pessimism, seeking the benefit can assist us in finding that equilibrium. The assumption that our perception of hardship has a big impact on our well-being is supported by modern psychology. According to the theory of post-traumatic growth, people can grow positively on the inside by learning from their experiences and overcoming hardship. Even in the most trying circumstances, we may uncover positive aspects of the situation by drawing on our inner resilience. Principle 16: Emotional fortitude and self-control. The Stoic school of thought, which is reflected in Marcus Aurelius's teachings, places a strong emphasis on the idea that we are always in charge of our inner selves, independent of the external environment. Marcus Aurelius famously said, "Realize this, and you will find strength. You have power over your mind, not outside events." This Stoic wisdom emphasizes the idea that, even though we cannot always control what happens around us, by strengthening our emotional resilience and self-control, we can regulate our emotional reactions. Even in the face of hardship, we are capable of retaining our inner calm and composure. This idea is also consistent with Plato's philosophy, which highlights the role that reason and intelligence play in directing our behavior. We may use our rational minds to make thoughtful judgments, instead of letting our emotions control us by cultivating emotional resilience. The notion that emotional stability and self-control are critical for general well-being is supported by contemporary psychology. Effective emotion management has been linked to improved mental health and stronger relationships, according to studies. We can improve our psychological well-being and lead more satisfying lives by cultivating emotional resilience. Principle 17 aims to make the most of the situation. The Stoic school of thought reminds us that our interpretations and conclusions about events affect how we perceive them. Renowned for his works on fortitude and misfortune, Seneca counseled that trials fortify the psyche in the same way that toil fortifies the body. Seneca's Stoic philosophy emphasizes the notion that hardships and obstacles can be useful teachers. We can choose to welcome setbacks as opportunities for growth, learning, and self-improvement, rather than seeing them as impediments. Epictetus taught us that we have a choice in how we react to outside situations because he placed a strong emphasis on concentrating on what we can control. He once famously claimed that it doesn't matter what happens to you, what counts is how you respond to it. This Stoic lesson serves as a reminder that, by trying to make the most out of any situation, our reactions to it can either help or hinder our personal growth. We have agency over our own development. Inside Western philosophy, the pursuit of eudaimonia and Aristotle's idea of virtue regarding this principle, flight, is relevant. According to Aristotle, leading a decent life entails maximizing our circumstances and using them to further our moral and intellectual development in an effort to reap the benefits of those circumstances. Agrees with Aristotle's theory that virtue leads to well-being. Resilience and a positive outlook are important, according to contemporary psychology. According to studies, those who regard hardship as an opportunity for personal development typically have better mental health and are more content with their lives. Actively looking for positive aspects of their circumstances conforms to post-traumatic growth and resilience theory in psychology. Rule 18, give up trying to control what you cannot. Concentrate on what is visible. Seneca, well known for his essays on perseverance and hardship, suggested that fate pulls those who are willing along with it. A hesitant witness, the Stoic school of thought urges us to accept that some things in life are beyond of our control and determined by fate. Rather than opposing or mourning these immutable elements, we can decide to concentrate our energies on domains in which we possess action and sway. This idea is further supported by Plato's ideas on the rational mind and self-control. Plato highlighted that rational decision-making requires self-control and self-awareness. As Plato suggested, we can develop our rational faculties and practice self-mastery by accepting what we cannot control and focusing on what we can. The philosophy of Socrates, which emphasizes introspection and the quest for knowledge, further supports this idea. Socrates urged people to be aware of who they are and what their boundaries are. We participate in the kind of reflection and self-awareness that Socrates emphasized in contemporary psychology when we acknowledge the limits of our power. Echoes the wisdom of this idea, especially when it comes to emotional control and stress management. Studies have shown that individuals who accept what they can't control and focus on manageable tasks tend to experience lower stress levels and better emotional well-being. This aligns with the psychological concept of locus of control, which refers to our beliefs about the extent to which we can influence events in our lives. These timeless principles serve as guiding stars on our journey through life. They remind us to embrace the things we can change, accept those we cannot, and focus our energies where they matter most. As you reflect on these principles, remember that they are not just words but pathways to a more meaningful existence. They invite you to explore the depths of your own character, to find solace in adversity, and to cultivate wisdom and resilience. So I encourage you to take these principles to heart and apply them in your daily life. As you do, you'll discover the transformative power of ancient wisdom and modern insights. But our journey doesn't end here. There's a playlist on the screen filled with more wisdom, inspiration, and guidance. Press the link, delve further, and carry on with your search for a life well. I appreciate you coming along on this insightful adventure with me. Recall that your fate is determined by the decisions you make that are informed by your values. Make informed decisions, my friends, and may your journey lead to inner peace and meaningful fulfillment. Thank you so much for watching Stoic Energy.